Hey, long time no see, everybody. I'm just here. So recently I got to try out the Switch 2 again. I got two instances of trying it out, if I can say it that way somehow. I got to try it at Best Buy a little bit like a month ago, I believe. And today, or well, whenever this is going up, like a few days before this video came out, I got to try it at Walmart, which is where I got this recording from. The other one was more of a handheld mode type of thing, which will flash on screen. But I kind of wanted to just talk about it because I have some things to say, I think. And plus, I have been saying pretty much just, I wouldn't say trashing on the Switch 2, but you know, my view hasn't been exactly positive this entire time, and I'd like to give it some credit where it's due. Now, of course, I don't agree with everything that's being done, and also apologies for the people that are passing in front of the This was filmed in a Walmart. I did not want to cause a scene, so I just put it on a rack, and people just kept passing me by. So, forgive me, I had no other person to record. That aside, first thing I'll comment on is the actual size of the Switch. I did not realize how big this thing was. I'll flash it on screen right now, but in comparison to a Switch Lite, this thing is like night and day, even to the original Switch too. This is almost, I'm not even kidding, like a quarter size of an iPad. Like a regular size iPad too. It's not even like a Pro or anything like that. This is pretty chunky and big. Surprisingly kind of lightweight, which is, you know, actually good since this is a portable device. You would kind of expect it to be a little bit light. So it's kind of cool that the tech inside is really good. And it fits in this form factor. So I really like that. And the fact that the screen is bigger because you know, I'm getting old. I feel like I can't just keep looking at small screens all the time. So like I kind of appreciate not having to like focus my eyes too much on something smaller. I don't mind if it's small because that also means that it's more portable, but if I have the option to be a little bit bigger, that's completely fine. And that's kind of why I wanted the Switch OLED at one point. Maybe I'll get it at some point, but I don't know. It was really nice seeing like even that was thought of too. Even though they kind of went backwards with having an LCD screen, honestly, the real estate that you get in comparison to like the original Switch 2, oh my god, night and day. I was not expecting it to be that big. It did not seem that big from the videos that we were getting from beforehand. But yeah, like honestly, like that form factor felt great to hold. And the actual Joy-Cons themselves, I even took pictures of it in Walmart, which I got a better use out of because that's where they had the grip for the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons being bigger, they also made it or accommodated stuff to accommodate for the size difference. So now that these Joy-Cons are bigger, I feel like I can actually enjoy the Joy-Con form factor. Of course, you know, technically, would I use the Pro controller or something like that first? Yeah. But actually, I think I'd argue against it for this one, but I'll get to it eventually. Let me finish the Joy-Con stuff. I really enjoyed the Joy-Cons. For once in my life, the thing I noticed the most was how easy it was to touch the buttons. The front-facing buttons, and especially the triggers and the bumpers. The bumpers themselves and the triggers have been fixed, or not fixed. They've been extended to the point where you can comfortably hold the controller and not overextend yourself, and it feels great. It doesn't feel like I'm crammed into a form. It just feels so much better than the original Switch. Like this was thought out. It was a good improvement, I'd argue. Now, I will say the ergonomics are still, you know, a little rough, a little bit, not too much like the original Switch because this is still a little bit hard to hold because it doesn't have any like bumps or stuff like that like controllers have, or even the Pro controller has, to where you can grip the thing. It's very flat to fit in, you know, the cases and stuff, so you still have to kind of sacrifice a little bit of ergonomics for that, but it feels way better to hold because you have more space to do so. At least for my hands, it felt comfortable. That was the biggest improvement for me, which I actually kind of appreciate a lot. Now, to jump over to the Pro controller, which I also got to try at Best Buy, I kind of had the Austin Plays sort of issue where I kind of am crammed. They changed the dimensions and width of certain things just enough for my hands to start like bending into each other and cramping. So not the biggest fan of the change. I do love the materials that this is made out of, though. Like, this felt great to hold and, like, grip and everything. It was nice. It felt like they tried to make improvements, and there's even, like, back bumpers now on the back of the controller, which I don't know if I can find a picture for it, but I don't know if you can map something to that, but it's cool. I didn't get to use it on any of the games that they had, which is 2, Mario Kart World, which you've been seeing so far, and then Donkey Kong, which I got to try later. But I don't know if you can map it to anything or something, stuff like that. But it felt good to hold for like the first few minutes, but after like extended playtime, it started to really cramp on me, and I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of that. So that kind of sucked, because I really loved the original Switch's Pro controller. It felt nice to hold. It felt like I was holding a 360 controller, in the sense of like I never really got tired of holding it, and I never had any problems gripping it, like reaching any of the buttons or anything like that. It was just measured exactly like that. So I don't know, it just felt weird that they kind of fixed it, but they didn't at the same time. So that was a little disappointing. Now, as for the games themselves, I actually kind of liked Mario Kart World. It wasn't like a huge thing either. Like, I liked the new mechanics and stuff where you can jump on walls and stuff like that, and like charge a boost and things like that. But I didn't really get to customize too much. There was only like a limited selection of characters. Of course, you have the main cast and some of their alternate costumes, which I used in the video, but you didn't get that many options, whether or more so to controls. They were really limited, and yeah, just, I don't know. You didn't get to customize the controls or anything like that, or turn off like the auto steering or auto accelerate or anything like that. So it was a little limiting. But from what I got to play, like, in Best Buy and this time around, I thought it was okay. I still don't really like it that much, because it's Mario Kart. After a while, it just gets a little boring, at least to me. I know some people love Mario Kart, and technically when you play with friends, it's good, but I don't know. I was never really that big of a Mario Kart fan. Like, the animations and stuff look really, really nice, but it's like, it's kind of hard to let go of the fact that this is worth $80, and it's really not. It doesn't feel like an $80 game. It feels like a $60 game, a $70 game, but you know, Nintendo, they're never gonna downgrade that price, so it's just gonna stay 80 forever. So I wouldn't say it's worth it. I don't think so, at least. Like, it was fun for like the few times that I tried it, but I wouldn't choose this over like Donkey Kong, for example, which is what I'm playing at right now. I loved Donkey Kong. It's so much, in fact, that like the first time I played it at Best Buy, the session at Best Buy, I just stayed in the tutorial level and completely forgot that there was a 15-minute time limit. And I didn't even know there was another level after you completed the tutorial area. But I just stayed there just smashing everything. And like, just this mechanic alone is so fun to mess around with, because you get to destroy everything and terraform, find goodies. Like, everything is chock full of gold that you can find in bananas that are just hidden around the environment. It's so cool. The fact that they got this to work and it's fun, that should say something. The Odyssey, like, I know I've been seeing praise for it, but it's really actually good. And the way I got to try it, I kind of got convinced that this was like, okay, this should have been the launch title instead of Mario Kart World. Obviously, Mario Kart World will always sell because it's a multiplayer game. Mario Kart, Mario. So yeah, but I genuinely think this one shows off the Switch 2 in a better light than Mario Kart World. Like, sure, Mario Kart World looks good, but this one gives the weight of the Switch 2's power and mechanics and shit like that. This one justifies it a little bit more. Obviously, it's a little, you know, it's still a hard pill to swallow, but I feel like this one, this is the one. Like, you can see me have fun. I'm smashing everything, and I can't understand how fun that thing felt to do. I don't know if I would like it for the entire game. I imagine they shake it up a little bit with different mechanics, this and that, and different things that you have to find. I got to try a little bit of like the Kong power-up, I believe, later on in the demo, but I enjoyed my time with it, at least. And here's the other area I was talking about, where, you know, you actually get to run around the level, and I made my way towards it because the first time I didn't know, but this level felt so big and chunky. Like, there was so many things to do that I'm pretty sure I didn't even like cross half of it by the time I finished the demo, because you only get 15 minutes to really explore, so you're kind of just incentivized to get to this level immediately, to just like run around and do shit in, because this is the one that's the most open out of the two. Like, you see me go through the ground. That is, like, I didn't even know this was a pathway you could take or like do, and then you can just make your way through the level however you want, because you can just break pretty much every terrain here. I don't even know what the right way is. And here I discovered that there's another mechanic too. But I genuinely really liked playing this, and I felt like the Joy-Cons actually felt better here. Because this is the game that requires most of the front-facing buttons to play, and I felt like the bigger size of the Joy-Cons, the buttons, the placement of the triggers, and the bumpers actually felt really intentionally placed good. Like, they were made to improve your experience. That's at least that's what I felt. And here I'm gonna go into another part of the level. Here's where I got to actually use the Kong Bananza, which is what it's actually called. I just read the text. But here, like, I go and beat up this mini boss, which I didn't even know there was mini bosses in the game. Like, that's how blind I am right now, and I want to keep it that way, because I don't think I'm gonna get it soon, but I want to go blind because I've seen people like freak out and actually legitimately enjoy this game, so I kind of just want to keep it a surprise. But from my time with it, I really like the mechanics. I just hope it's something that can keep me grossed in. Thanks, guy, walking in front of it. But here, this is what I mean. I feel like I barely got through the level, and then I see more. And of course, this is where the demo ends, so I didn't get to do that much. I should have gone another round and got into there again, but it was really fun from what I got to play. Now, unfortunately, there's only 2 demos, and I went back to Mario Kart World after this. Now, something I will say is that despite, like, being impressed and stuff like that, like, a little bit better, like, of course, I'm not going to get Mario Kart World. That's the thing I'm conflicted by. Like, of course, this is technically what I asked for, like, in a second Switch and that, and this and that. And to be a little bit fair to the console, I do think it's a pretty good price point for the power that you get, like, portably, and you get a simplified UI. You don't have to, like, worry about, like, optimizing games or, like, the games being unoptimized or stuff like that. They will have optimization for this game, or, like, games that come out on the Switch too, I mean. But it's just a little bit of a hard pill to swallow when the games are also, like, super expensive, and that's the thing that I feel conflicted on, that I don't want to support. Like, of course, I want to play, like, fun games, but it's like, I don't want Nintendo to get the wrong idea here where they can just get away with $80 games. And the thing is, like, sure, like, maybe they'll get away with it the first time, but it's not like, they'll lower the price or something like that, like other companies have to do eventually because their game just loses value. Nintendo always keeps it at the same price, so that's why it's such a hard pill to swallow, because there will be no deal for this. They will not lower it, especially with the leadership that they have now, but I don't believe in that philosophy. That's why we haven't had player choice, or, you know, the thing that would lower the games to $20, give it a different cover and everything like that, like we used to get. Now we're stuck with, like, full price games the entire generation. Like, sure, they may get, like, $20 discounts, but they're not permanent. They're only for, like, holiday sales. So it's just, it's so hard because, like, the Switch is doing some cool shit here. Like, you see, like, the animation work that's going here. Like, I really like that, but it's not that's worth $80. It's not like that's worth sacrificing what Nintendo or what idea Nintendo would get out of my purchase out of it. Now, I know I'm just one person out of, like, many people that bought the console, but it's like, I want to make sure they get my message, because the only language that they ever speak is money. Because if we just complain with it and still buy it, they'll still take it, like, you know, whatever, we got some pushback, but eventually they bought it anyway. That's the thing I hate, because of course I want to play, like, you know, I want to play a game, but it's like, I don't want to be miserable just knowing that Nintendo will just keep, like, going up and up and up and up, and, like, keep pushing the envelope, just like cooking the frog in the pot. Like, I don't know if you know that analogy, but it's like they slowly increase the heat until, you know, the frog gets used to it, and then they keep doing that until, you know, eventually you cook the frog. But it's just, I don't know, I'm just sad. I like it, but I wouldn't spend my money on it. At least not right now. And it's not just that. I also want to wait for more games to come out because technically the only true Switch 2 games that are here are just two. So Donkey Kong and Mario Kart World. Obviously Donkey Kong being the best example that the Switch can offer. But I kind of want to wait for maybe the Mario game to come out or like Zelda or something like that. Just more to really justify the console. Because technically, like, sure, if you like playing one game and like re-releases of others that cost $10 to upgrade, sure, but I don't know, I think it's a little bit hard at the moment to justify it. Like, it has cool tech and stuff, but yeah, I want to at least try to send a message if I can that, like, please consider like lowering it or something. I know they won't, but still worth a try. But you know, console, speaking of the console itself, good. I just wish Nintendo listened, that's all. But that aside, I hope you enjoyed my little rambly session here. I kind of enjoyed it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.